Hello class, today I'll be discussing the military tactics used during the Asian Dynasties. But first, let's discuss how the armies were constructed. Individuals were recruited through conscription or obligatory recruitment, meaning that they were required by law to enlist. At age 23, the male recruit had to undergo a year of training and another year of service. The age was later lowered to 20 in order to enlist more males. The first emperor of China, seen on the screen, was Shi Huangdi, who constructed his very own underground army, which is also seen on the screen. These were his underground army, which were constructed of terracotta, which were found in the tombs. Rulers fought one another for the overall control of the land. They seemed more interested in gaining power than in ruling wisely. They wanted order in their society. With the advancement of weaponry, the armies needed sufficient armor. Gunpowder was used for signals, small bombs, and rockets, but it was later used for explosives, firearms, and cannons. These tactics altered wars and the armor used. Here's an example of the armor worn by these Chinese armies. Here's the example of metal armor. With the invention of paper in the Han Dynasty, military leaders tried to create armor using only paper. Mythbusters created an episode called Paper Armor? Really? Here's the clip.
Armor myth, but come up to the Napa Valley so that I can talk to Greg Martin. You live in a museum.
These are all my toys.
Now, he's an antique arms and armor expert. Hopefully you'll have a little insight for me.
And his first interesting insight is that the existence of paper armor is no myth at all.
Historically, paper armor is traced back to the Tang Dynasty, 600 BC. And of course, the Chinese were very big developers of paper. So it would stand to reason that paper armor would develop there.
So how would paper armor likely have been constructed?
By using what we call lamellibranche. Paper was laminated together into squares and then attached piece by piece, and then would cover the entire body.
What was steel armor like at that period?
Steel armor would have been the same way, most likely, layered, but again, it would be plates attached together to make a full covering rather than one whole suit.
So, lamellar paper armor really was used in ancient China. There are records of multiple manufacturing methods and designs, but the myth is that it was as effective as the steel armor of its day.
If you want to see the entire episode of Paper Armor, really, you can go to www.discovery.com/mythbusters. You will really enjoy the episode. I know I did. At the end of the episode, it was proved to be plausible. Carrie spoke with the antique armor expert, Greg Martin, who explained that paper armor was in use as early as 600 BC and was built up from layers that may have been impregnated with resin or shellac. The build team tested several formulations for penetration resistance and found that a thick layer of folded paper with no resin gave the best results. Using the armor sample of either half an inch paper or a 1/32 of an inch steel plate placed over a block of clay, they tested resistance to blunt force swords and arrows. The paper did as well as steel in the sword and arrow test, failing only the blunt force test, so the team decided to build a full suit of paper armor to match against a period-accurate steel counterpart. Each team member ran one of 3 timed courses in both armor types to evaluate speed, endurance, and agility. Paper outperformed steel in all 3. Incredible, right? Finally, they attacked the suits with arrows, swords, and 2 different firearms, an 18th century flintlock pistol and an 18th century .45 revolver. Both armor types resisted every attack except the .45, leading the team to classify the myth as plausible. They pointed out, though, that the paper armor could quickly begin to disintegrate if it got wet or took repeated blows, which happened during both full-scale tests. I hope you enjoyed the lesson on the Chinese armor, and I hope you watched the entire episode of Mythbusters and enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you, class. Have a good day.